Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Zack Snyder's Justice League has a new trailer that's actually more or less the same DC fandom trailer, but with a handful of new shots and an accompanying live stream breakdown by Zack Snyder himself, giving us a ton of new Easter eggs and layers of meaning to this footage. So we now have a much fuller sense of what this 4-episode HBO Max miniseries is gonna be when it releases on the confirmed date of 2021. Hey, we'll take it, considering other Batmans got delayed to 2020. What? Snyder said that of the 4-hour-long episodes, 2.5 hours of it will be new, never-before-seen footage. And in the past, he said that the rest of it, hell, all of it, will only be footage that he shot for his original version of Justice League. So I'm gonna break down all the new interesting stuff that you might have missed. Now, Zack Snyder posted a black and white version of the trailer on his socials, but we are gonna look at the color version that came out after. And as I go, I'm gonna be condensing and breaking down all the major reveals from Snyder's live stream for you. And yeah, I am wearing a shirt with my own name on it, but this is actually just one of many fun designs that you can own yourself by going to our official merch store, newrockstarsmerch.com. Okay, the trailer's opening shot shows Darkseid, known here as his younger self's name, Uxas, whom Snyder revealed was played via motion capture by Richard Cetrone, Ben Affleck's Batman stunt double. He does a lot of the mocap work in these movies. Uxas slams the earth with his staff, which Snyder says was intended to reveal the anti-life equation, because Uxas thinks it's on Earth, and that when this happens, symbols will form on the ground via lava that need to be deciphered. So the anti-life equation is a kind of cosmic algorithm that allows for the mind control of all sentient beings in the universe. In Jack Kirby's comics, Darkseid targets Earth because he believes this equation is embedded in the human subconscious. But here, these lava symbols on the ground will be how Snyder visualizes that equation. Snyder confirmed that the shot of the Wayne Manor ruins is filled with Easter eggs and cryptic messages and what he calls pieces to the puzzle, many of which I did break down in the last trailer. So we know Wayne Manor was being turned into the Hall of Justice at the end of this movie, and now in this future aftermath, there are Easter eggs pointing to each member of that team. There's Aquaman's 3-pronged trident, which is interesting because that's the trident of King Atlan, not the 5-pronged weapon that he wields in this movie, but the one that he later receives at the end of Aquaman, telling us that we are seeing a future defeat of the Justice League when they are united in the future. You can also see Diana's splintered shield and a portrait of Thomas Wayne, Bruce's father, played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and then a Joker card floats past screen, but not just any Joker card. This is the same exact one that Bruce had taped onto his gun in that nightmare sequence in Batman v Superman. If you remember in that scene, Bruce stepped up on the cliff from those ruins in the background, so Snyder is linking all of this together. And in terms of cryptic messages, it is fun to see what Snyder did here with the light. He singles out these Justice League Easter eggs by reflecting sunlight off of them. Light glimmers off the shield, and then glimmers off the trident, and then through the S in Justice, as if to say, the House of L family crest, translating to hope, that just happens to look like an S, is really the Justice League's hope to preventing this apocalyptic future. Okay, next, Diana recovers the arrow of Artemis, the one fired into the temple as a warning upon Steppenwolf's arrival. Now, Snyder says that the shaft of that arrow has clues that point to the location of a true hidden shrine to the Amazons. Looking closely at that arrow shaft, it's kind of hard to make anything out, but again, follow the light here. The shadow that shaft makes on the stone wall, that shadow might point Diana to a secret access point, opening her up to the real inner shrine. Could be kind of an homage to the Staff of Ra that Indiana Jones uses to find the location of the Ark. And we know from other footage that this shrine will lead to the whole history lesson that Diana will witness, recounting the ancient war against Uxas. Snyder confirmed that this war takes place chronologically before the backstory we saw in Wonder Woman, in which Ares betrayed the old gods. Now, one of the new shots of the trailer shows Diana and Arthur reacting to the hollow projection of Superman, which Snyder confirmed was being projected from Cyborg. Snyder also said that this was happening not in the Batcave, but at a Wayne Aerospace hangar, and that here Bruce is contemplating the rebirth of Superman, what has to be done. Snyder also said that in this hangar, Bruce is working on another vehicle beyond the Flying Fox that we've seen, something for what he said was the war to come. Okay, on the footage I'm honestly most excited for. Victor Stone's whole backstory as a football player before he becomes Cyborg and his whole character arc. It's something that was sadly just left out of the theatrical cut. Gotham City University is playing Wisconsin, notice their helmets, but apparently you could see an empty seat in the stands that should have been filled by Vic's father, Silas Stone, who missed this critical game because he was too busy working at Star Labs. And then more new footage, Cyborg watching kids play football in the street outside their apartment where he has been hiding ever since his accident, though Vic is still in his GCU football sweatsuit. Snyder didn't spend too much time talking about Superman's emergence from the scout ship, now wearing the black suit, other than to tease it will be an epic moment, but maybe it's because this is a callback to his emergence from the same portal as the scout ship that we saw before his first epic flight in Man of Steel. Full circle, baby. By the way, Snyder also confirmed that on that scout ship, one of these stasis bed pods was deliberately left open in Man of Steel, intending to leave the door open to other Kryptonians existing on Earth all this time. Many believe it to be Kal-El's cousin, Kara Zor-El, Supergirl. Now, in the shot of Diana greeting the schoolgirl, Snyder confirmed that this girl is going to ask Diana, "Can I be like you one day?" And Diana's going to answer with a resounding yes. I just hope that that little girl isn't like, "That day's today!" and then takes Diana's lasso of truth and chokes the little boy with it. "Tell the truth! Tell the truth!" And then he dies. I'm just saying kids shouldn't want to grow up to be superheroes. They should grow up to be normal people who just act heroically in their everyday life. Why does my mind go to these places? Well, before I continue, I want to thank our sponsor, Honey, for helping us make this video. Honey wants to help pay for one of your holiday gifts. This holiday season, Honey is helping pay for $1 million worth of gifts as part of the great Honey Giftaway. Thousands of prizes every week. You know Honey as the free browser extension that automatically searches for promo codes when you're shopping online. But have you heard of Honey's other money-saving tools like Drop List? Add things you want to buy to your drop list at certain online stores, and Honey will watch the prices and let you know when the price drops on your items. So here's how the great Honey Giftaway works. Add Honey at joinhoney.com/newrockstars, then throw some gifts on your holiday drop list for a chance to win part of the $1 million. Honey will randomly select winners and give them the money to help buy something on their list. Now, I'm gonna add a few tabletop board games to my holiday drop list. I see you, Gloomhaven, and I'm coming for you, Codenames Duet. Even if you don't win, Honey will let you know if the price drops on anything on your list, so at least you can save some cash. Pay less for your holiday gifts, have a chance to win part of the $1 million Honey Giftaway, and support my channel by supporting one of our biggest sponsors. Get Honey for free today at joinhoney.com/newrockstars. That's joinhoney.com/newrockstars. Okay, on to the shots of Barry saving Iris West. Snyder says that this will be our first introduction to Barry's Speed Force and his powers, but that we won't see how he got those powers. Barry here is applying for a job at a pet store, but this scene will include details to clarify the whole physics of Barry's powers. Notice his shoes are burned off because he moves so fast, and that he is super careful with Iris because, as Snyder points out, if Barry would have just like carelessly moved people around as he moves super fast, he would tear their freaking arms off. So I think that special little care that he gives Iris is what makes her respond that way. Yes, please. But other than this, Snyder said we won't be seeing much of Iris in this miniseries. Okay, in the shot of Cyborg digging at the graveyard is another Easter egg, that angel statue. Snyder said this is the same statue he put into his past films, Watchmen and Sucker Punch. And then the shot of the five-pronged trident comes from a new sequence with Arthur Curry and Volko, Willem Dafoe's mentor figure, who gives Arthur the weapon of his mother, Atlanta. Snyder explained that Justice League used those air bubbles for the Atlanteans to talk because if they were to try to talk underwater, their lungs and tracheas would be filled with seawater. They're not holding their breath down there, they're just, breathing like fish do. And that if it was all clogged with water, it wouldn't vibrate their vocal cords the same way. Like, it kind of does if you were to go in a swimming pool and talk underwater. That's all air in there, that's why you can still produce the same sounds. This is all to explain why they did it their way versus the way James Wan did it in Aquaman, where people just talked underwater. I think when we all saw that in Aquaman, we're like, yeah, we don't need to overthink that. Okay, then another new shot with Uxas, now swapped into a previous version of the shot that actually featured Steppenwolf. Behind him are the priests of the Mother Box, and they are forming the Unity to reveal the anti-life equation, which you can kind of see in the form of energy from those lava symbols etched into the earth, flowing up above Uxas and converging into what will most likely be the Mother Boxes. But Uxas is about to be foiled by the protectors of Earth, which include the united forces of the Amazonians, the Atlanteans, the Old Gods, most likely a Green Lantern hanging out in there. Now, Snyder explained Darkseid. This guy is going to be a liaison between Darkseid and Steppenwolf. Apparently, he's going to communicate via hologram. Then there's a shot of Cyborg reacting to his father Silas, committing a selfless act, though notice behind Cyborg lurks Steppenwolf, suggesting this is taking place right at the last second, with Steppenwolf nearly getting to the Mother Box, but Silas is able to stop him, but I guess only in a way that fries his own body. Snyder acknowledged that that whole visual is definitely a parody parallel to his Dr. Manhattan disintegration that he made in Watchmen. Then another new shot in this trailer, Hippolyta mid-fight with the parademons. You can see her holding her mother box in her arm there, fending them off with a sword just to keep it right out of reach. Snyder also explained more about Steppenwolf's new design, his super spiky armor, before the theatrical cut smoothed it down. Steppenwolf will strip down from this armor at some point, but this new armor moves with him emotionally, kind of like its own living, breathing organism. Then there's a shot of Barry flashing over people's heads. According to Snyder, this is Barry zipping over their heads via the Speed Force, protecting Star Labs employees from a falling debris field. You can actually see huge chunks falling down toward them, but then they disappear right as Barry's silhouettes flash up here and there to catch all these different pieces. Then there's this shot of Batman catching parademon blasts on his gauntlet. Snyder revealed that Alfred constructed these new gauntlets and that there will be a kind of debate between him and Diana over who was the real inspiration for these kind of gauntlets, implying that Batman must have borrowed Diana's tech after she saved his ass in Batman v Superman, thanks in part to her gauntlets. Now, one of the most interesting shots we have seen shows Barry in a kind of psychedelic wind tunnel landscape, which Snyder wouldn't confirm any more about, other than to say that it is what we think it is, which is more or less him confirming that we are seeing Barry sprint forward or backward in time here, maybe tying up the loose end from Batman v Superman and or setting up the upcoming Flashpoint movie, which is going to deal with timelines, multiverses, and time travel. Now, in the shots of the Kent farm, Snyder said that Clark was, interestingly, being reborn into the memories of his life in Kansas. So this might be part of his resurrection sequence. And for the shot of Cyborg diverting the warhead, Snyder said that this is Vic imagining what he's capable of now doing with his technological god mode, that he can bypass digital firewalls and networks and access all military warheads. That must be, if you look closely, why his anatomy is back to normal. He's in his GCU Letterman jacket, his hands and head look normal. This is his pre-accident self that he's conceiving in his mind's eye. It's kind of cool that they're depicting it this way. The shot of Cyborg saving the cop in Heroes Park is confirmed to be the role played by Mark McClure, Jimmy Olsen from the Superman films. He's playing Officer Ben Sadowski, a more active role than his brief cameo in the theatrical cut with The Flash. Flying Fox rises up to meet the Justice League, and Snyder confirmed that Cyborg is piloting it remotely. Sorry to those of you who thought that it might have been Martian Manhunter at the wheel there. Now, according to Snyder, the cut of all 4 parts is locked, meaning no new reassemblies are going to be necessary, and that he and his team are really just tweaking the VFX in a lot of shots. So while HBO Max continues to tease us with a vague 2021 date, we could be looking at a release of this of very early 2021, and we are going to be all over covering it with breakdowns of every single one of these. So be sure to subscribe to New Rockstars, hit that notification bell for everything that we're covering. You can also follow me on Instagram at EA Voss, follow New Rockstars. Thank you for watching, and a little update from yesterday's reaction video. Despite my best efforts to create a copyright strike-free video by not using any of Leonard Cohen's Alleluia in that video and just kind of like mutter singing it out of key, that singing was good enough to still get a copyright strike. This freaking platform is insane. And this is why we really could use your help by supporting us, like buying our merch and other things. So if you want to get on that, we'd appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Bye.